In the glorious kingdom of Persia, ruled by the mighty king Xerxes, lived a young Jewish woman named Esther. She was beautiful and kind. Esther lived with her cousin Mordecai, who loved her like a daughter. One day the king held a grand feast. He wanted everyone to see his beautiful queen Vashti, but Queen Vashti refused to come. The king was furious. He banished Vashti from his presence. A search began throughout the kingdom for a new queen. Many beautiful young women were brought to the palace. Esther, with her gentle spirit and captivating charm, was among them. She found favor in the eyes of Haggai, the king's eunuch who was in charge of the women. Esther said little about her background. She followed Mordecai's advice and did not reveal that she was Jewish. King Xerxes was dazzled by Esther's beauty and grace. He chose her to be his new queen. Esther, a young woman of faith, became the queen of Persia. It was a destiny she had not imagined, but God was with her. He had a plan. Life in the palace was luxurious, but danger lurked in the shadows. Haman, a proud and wicked man, was promoted to the highest position in the kingdom. He demanded that everyone bow down to him. Mordecai, a devout Jew, refused to bow down to anyone but God. This enraged Haman. He was filled with fury. Haman vowed revenge. He would not be satisfied with punishing Mordecai alone. He devised a wicked plan. He would use his power to destroy all the Jews in Persia. He went to the king with his evil scheme. Haman tricked King Xerxes. He convinced the king that the Jews were dangerous and needed to be eliminated. The king, unaware of Esther's heritage, agreed to Haman's wicked plan. A decree was issued. It was sent throughout the kingdom. All Jews were to be killed on a specific day. Haman rejoiced in his wickedness. He was certain of his victory, but he had underestimated the power of God and the courage of a young queen. Mordecai was devastated when he heard the news. He tore his clothes in grief and put on sackcloth and ashes, a sign of deep mourning. He knew he had to warn Esther. Mordecai sent a message to Esther telling her about Haman's evil plan. He begged her to intervene. He pleaded with her to use her influence with the king to save their people. Esther was terrified. She knew the danger. It was forbidden to approach the king without being summoned. Doing so could mean death. But Mordecai reminded her that she had become queen for a reason. Perhaps this was the moment she was meant to act. Esther's faith gave her strength. She made a bold decision. She would risk her life to save her people. She sent word to Mordecai. "Gather all the Jews in Susa," she said. "Fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days and 3 nights." She knew this was a time for prayer and for courage. After 3 days, Esther, dressed in her royal robes, approached the king's throne room. Her heart pounded with fear, but her faith was strong. King Xerxes, seeing Esther unannounced, held out his golden scepter toward her. She was safe. Esther, with wisdom and courage, revealed Haman's wicked plan. She told the king that she too was Jewish and marked for death. She exposed Haman's treachery and his hatred for Mordecai. The king was furious. He ordered Haman to be hanged on the very gallows that he had built for Mordecai. The king, realizing the injustice that was about to be committed against the Jewish people, issued a new decree. This decree gave the Jews the right to defend themselves. The Jews triumphed over their enemies. Good had overcome evil. Faith and courage had saved the day. To celebrate their deliverance, the Jewish people established the festival of Purim. It is a joyous celebration. They remember Esther's bravery and the triumph of good over evil.